Good morning, YouTube. Welcome to the Reptile Barn. Jumping right into it, I have 35 female ball pythons that I could breed this season, and I need to pare that down to 10. So, I'm going to take you on behind the scenes a little bit in what's been going on with our business, what choices we have to make, and all that fun stuff. So, that obviously is a great reduction in what we've typically bred in the past, at least the past 2 or 3 years. So I want to give the reasons why we're going to do that, and then the juicy part is choosing which ones to breed still. The major reason triggering this decision is just that the ball python market is very, very slow. It hasn't ground to a halt, which I'm grateful for, but it is the slowest it has been in my time in the industry. We've been selling ball pythons for about 8 years. I realized that there is some pretty massive fluctuation in ball pythons and a few of the other species that are really, really popular and have morphs. There's massive spikes and massive drops. It's not on a perfect schedule, of course, but it happens. I get that. We're fine. But I'm certainly not going to pump out hundreds and hundreds of babies into a market that there aren't going to be that many sales for, right? So that's the major reason. However, there are other reasons. And some of them are related to that. Look at my baby racks. There's some slots down there. There's some slots up there. Some slots down there. And then I actually have another 2 racks, small racks that are just homemade in another room. So we have a lot of babies to sell still. I don't need to be producing another 200 babies right now. I've got plenty to work on to advertise and just taking care of them properly, making sure they all get held, some exercise, keeping them well fed, clean, all that stuff. Moving them up to larger racks. My oldest babies are on this rack up towards the top. Some of them pretty soon need to be moved into a bigger rack, something like that. So it's a lot of work to take care of, and sales are really slow. And I am against producing babies that I don't already have room for. Of course, we could build more racks and find the space, but that's expensive. Space is precious here. I'm just not going to do that. So I have figured with the slots we have that we have enough room currently that we could produce up to 10 more ball python clutches and still be able to house them, even if we don't sell a single another one before that point hits. Now, that's not realistic. Sales still trickle in. There's it's not like we're going to have this exact number of older babies by the time this coming season is over, but I'm unwilling to push that. I'm not going to be like, well, maybe I'll breed 14 females because I'm sure that some of these slots will open up. I'm not going to do that. So, 10 ball pythons. That's a small little season for us, but we have a just spectacular ball python collection, and I'm sure that we can come up with some epic pairings to do that with. Let me get into a couple of my other reasons before we jump into which snakes we're going to pick. Some of you already know, I've talked about it a little bit, but some of you already know we're working on some other major things right now. One, we are planning to move here in a year and a half to another city. Well, out of the city. And several of my family members are as well, not just me and Liz and the kids, but others too. So it's a big property, and we've been working on clearing it. And then, well and septic are going to need to go in, and fencing, and just a bunch of work that we've been doing ourselves. A lot of money is going to go into it. So I consider us overwhelmingly busy, and now we're more busy. And I don't want hundreds more baby ball pythons to take care of. I don't want to do that to me, and I don't want to do that to them. I feel stretched. I feel very overwhelmed, and I do not want to burn out, and I do not want to neglect animals. I don't want to neglect my own health. So, just the busyness factor. The other thing connected to that, I mentioned this a couple months ago, we're working on a new style of content for YouTube that we're extremely excited about. It is very time consuming and a little bit expensive. That's just another thing we're doing as a business. Maybe we're insane for adding more things, but we're doing it. And so I need to divert some of my time into that as well. And there's other things too, I could go on, but busyness is huge, space requirements is huge, and then the slowness of the market and not wanting to produce more babies than I can realistically sell. So that's what's going on as far as the Reptile Barns ball python projects. Let's jump into some of the fun stuff now, though. I'm going to take a seat and show you guys. Well, I'll walk you through it because my handwriting is absolutely atrocious, and I don't think you'd be able to read it anyways. So very, 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 very quickly, I'm going to blast through some of these females I've got. Probably not every single one, but some of them. I've got some visual female pieds that could breed. 2 of them. I've got 3 visual female desert ghosts. I have 2 female these are all females I'm going to list, okay? I'll stop saying female. 2 visual super Mojaves. That's blue-eyed Lucy's, right? I have 3, although I'm probably going to sell one, but in fact, I think I already listed her. So 2 double het. These are proven double het Ultramel pieds. I've got a Mystic Potion. I've got a Banana Gargoyle. I have 2 Citrus Ghosts. That's a very underutilized gene that I'm really excited about. I have what I think is a Pastel Yellow Belly Jungle Woma Het Clown. I've got a Jungle Woma. Hold on, I want to make sure I get this right. A Butter Jungle Woma, 100% het for Clown, Pos het for Sunset, and we're actually going to get her tested, so that could be awesome. A Red Stripe Het Ultramel, a Mystic Mahogany Het Clown, a Blackhead Asphalt, Super Disco, Lesser Black Pastel Het Ultramel. All I've got right here, by the way, guys, is a list of their names, and I'm thinking of their genetics. That's why I'm being halting a little bit, but I'm just trying to make sure I get all the proper genetics across here. Pastel Ultramel, a regular Ultramel, some sort of clown female. I'm not sure what all she's got in her, to be honest. But she's not just a regular clown. 2 double het lavender clowns that are actually going to go to a buddy of mine's place because he's got a really perfect male for that. I have a spider, yes, the dreaded spider. Double het double het Desert Ghost Ultramel. I have a couple other things that gives you an idea, at least, of the females that I'm looking to breed. I have to pare this down to 10 snakes. What is my thinking going into this? I want these to be snakes that will sell relatively easily. I don't know if that's the right word. Things like visual pieds, there's a lot of demand. People really like those. Blue-eyed Lucy's, a lot of demand. Mystic Potions sell well. Visual Clowns typically sell well. So some of those things that I'm not necessarily building into a project, but are just to fill demand. A lot of these sell locally as pets. They're in that price range that I like, that $300 to $500 price range, sometimes a little bit lower. And not going to get into that whole mess right now because, boy, that's... Anyway, I've taken a lot of flack for my opinion on snake prices. Maybe I'll do a follow-up video some other time, but I'm not interested in any comment wars at the moment. So that's one side of things. Pet ball pythons that are cool morphs that people really, really like and have had their eye on for a long time, that fall in my preferred price range, and I think will sell relatively quickly. Okay? Then the other side of it is I have some genes and some projects and some combos that I am really, really, really excited about. And I don't want to just abandon those completely. But at the same time, I can't just go and do a pairing that's going to result in a whole bunch of 66% possible het for this and that and maybe yellow belly on top. You know what I'm saying? Like, I need the results of this year's pairings to be either snakes that I know I want to keep or snakes that I know will sell really well, and that limits me dramatically. So that's kind of where I'm at. Right off the bat, I know I'm going to aim for some visual pieds and pied combos, banana pieds, pastel pieds, whatever. And I know I'm going to aim for some blue-eyed Lucies and Mystic Potions. I know that. I've already got males ready to go. Some of these pairings I've already actually started. So that's going to happen. Probably 4 of my 10, maybe 5, will be claimed from that. Just looking for visual pieds and blue-eyed Lucies and things like that. And the nice thing is I have visual pied males and visual pied females, so I won't be messing with hets at all. And I have Super Mojave or Mystic Potion females and blue-eyed Lucy males, so I'm not going to be producing single gene Mojaves or Mystics, etc. Everything will be the exact animal that I want, guaranteed, as long as it's a healthy baby, right? As far as projects go, things for me, I really, really like Tri-Stripe, and my male is finally breeding. He's locking my 4 or 5-year-old male who's never bred for me before, so I know I'm going to use him. I'm going to probably put him to a Desert Ghost, and that'll just make double hets. I'll just have to pretty much keep them all. I'm probably going to put him to an Ultramel. And that might, oh, and I'm also going to put him to my Blackhead Asphalt. Okay, that's 8. I know that I'm going to put my Azanthic male to a Desert Ghost. That's 9. I think my 10th one, I'm going to put the Sunset to a double het Ultramel Pied for my 10th pairing for the season. Again, that's not ideal. Everything will be het Sunset. There will also be potential triple hets in there, Sunset, Ultramel Pieds, and I will just get those babies tested so I know exactly what I've got. Even as I say this, I'm second guessing myself because I don't want to produce babies that are going to be very difficult to sell, won't sell for my preferred price point, and won't necessarily be something I want to keep. So I need to rethink a couple of those last pairings that I mentioned. Another option would be a couple of my favorite Het Clown females. I've got the Mystic Mahogany Het Clown, and I've got the Pastel Yellow Belly Jungle Woma Het Clown. And my visual male Pinstripe Spot Nose Orange Dream Clown, even if I get babies that aren't visual clowns. They're guaranteed hets, and there's 5 or 6 other genes at play to make for a really cool, unique looking set of babies. So that's a possibility, I guess. I'm just brainstorming here. As I'm filming this video, I'm like, I'm consulting my chicken scratches, and I'm thinking about what are the results of these pairings going to actually look like. Our holdback visual male Ultramel Pied is ready to breed. I could put him to one of the double hets. That would potentially create double hets, but at least they'd be guaranteed hets and not possible hets. And I'd have probably a lot of Pieds, a lot of Ultramels, 1 in 4 chance of more Ultramel Pieds. That's a thought. Well, I am undecided on at least my 10th pairing, potentially 8, 9, and 10. I'm not fully there yet. I'm not going to bore you guys watching me just think. But this is the things that I am considering, right? Just for the record, I didn't want to get into this in this video, but I've mentioned a couple of times my preferred price point. This is a topic for a whole nother video, but when I've mentioned it before, I've talked about it at length before, and people still really get upset about this. I try not to produce super inexpensive snakes. I have what I consider excellent reasons for this, but people still get mad. People drag it up months later and throw it at me. So I can't address it fully, but please don't think that I'm saying my preferred price point because I don't think the snakes are worth it unless they're above a certain dollar amount, or snake's value is only tied to how much I can sell them for. Has literally nothing to do with that. Absolutely, entirely nothing to do with that, okay? It is all about my responsibility as a breeder to keep my snakes that I produce safe and have the highest probability of being well cared for the duration of their life. That is where I'm going with my preferred price point. It has nothing to do with business sense and everything to do with ethics. And yet, people get just up in arms over this. And maybe the video I made before on this topic, I didn't explain myself very well. I'm not going to try and add more to an 18-minute video that deserves its whole own video. But just anyone who maybe doesn't know what I was talking about, I will address this in a future video, and I have good reasons. So don't think that it's just like, oh, the reptile barn doesn't care about the snakes, they only care about how much they can sell them for. That's not it, I promise. Okay, I have gone into this many times. We've spent thousands of dollars on veterinary bills for $70 normal ball pythons, okay? That is not something you do if the value of the snake in your mind is only a dollar amount, okay? So I promise you that's not what I'm talking about. But anyways, don't want this video to be a downer at all. I wanted this to be kind of an exciting look at, oh, here's the issues facing us. Let me brainstorm what we're going to do about it and dive into some of these awesome pairings, produce some cool snakes this coming year. And any of you who have suggestions, I am all ears, because I can't quite decide on what my last few pairings of the year should be, but I need to decide quickly because some of these females are used to laying their eggs in April or May. They need to start breeding, right? So I got to decide fast. But that's where we're at, and I hope that we have a great year. I hope the sales pick up. You know, if all of a sudden the economy booms or something happens and sales are just coming in really fast again, and I clear my baby racks, yeah, I'll add a few more females on. But for right now, my intention is 10. 10 perfect ball python pairings for the year. We've got other stuff going on. We're breeding our Superdorf retics for the first time. You're going to see a video coming out very soon on that. Very excited. We're going to breed our garter snakes for the first time in the spring. We're going to be building a rain chamber for our tree frogs, breeding tree frogs for the first time. There's a lot of cool stuff that we're still working on. I'm just just zoning into ball pythons for this video. But don't think we're going away. We ain't going nowhere. The reptile barn is thriving, and that is all for now. I hope that one or two of you have stuck with me for 20 minutes. This is a very long video for me. I apologize. But hope you enjoyed it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time, we're the Reptile Barn.